Hey everybody, I'm Chef Tom with atbbq.com, and this is sweet tea brine turkey. Today we're gonna take a whole turkey, cut out the backbone for spatchcock style cooking, then we're gonna drop it in a sweet tea brine, and then season it up and roast it on a bed of sweet potatoes and other aromatics for a really quick and simple but flavorful Thanksgiving turkey. This is about a 14-pound bird. This is my preferred size, 12 to 14. If I need more than that, then I'm gonna cook multiple turkeys. But the first thing you wanna do is pop out this silly pop-up temperature timer thing and just get rid of it. Because what you really need is an instant read thermometer like this one so you can get a more accurate internal temperature and finish this without drying it out. So first thing we're gonna do is take off some of this excess skin from the neck, pull anything out that's inside. I already got the neck out. We'll flip this bird over, and we're gonna cut right alongside each side of this backbone to get rid of that backbone so we can lay this flat. All right, so we're going right side of the backbone, right in between that and the thigh. A good pair of poultry shears will get you a long way in this process. Give you some power. And then once I get all the way up to the top, I'm just gonna flip it around and go right back down the other way. So now you've got all of this plus the neck to use for your turkey stock and turkey gravy. Now right here in the middle, you have the breastbone. I'm just gonna give this a snip. And then we're gonna press it out flat. So once we pop that, you'll see as we flip this thing over, push down here, and all of this is just about on even cooking ground, so that this is gonna cook just as evenly in the thighs as it does in the breast. Flip back over now. I'm gonna clean this up a bit. This is just my preference. You don't have to do this, but at some point you're gonna have to get rid of this stuff, whether it's before or after you cook. So I just like to do it ahead of time. I snip right up to those ribs. Any of this stuff that's not actual meat that you're not going to eat, we'll get rid of that. Then right here you've got this bone that you want to get rid of, or I do. So what I do typically is I'll slide my knife right in the middle of it and then cut in one direction and then cut in the other direction. Now you can kind of just pop this thing off right at that joint. Now you can see how nice and clean all of this is, making it easier to take this apart once it's cooked. I'm gonna do the same thing to the other side. The other thing we can do right now is go ahead and peel back this skin a bit. This way we expose all of this meat for seasoning and for brine to get in there a little bit easier. All you gotta do is push that leg out and pull that skin back. And then once I've got those legs done, I'm gonna flip this over and start pulling back on the breast skin as well. And then we put everything right back into place, and this is ready to go into brine. This brine is super simple. It's just gonna be 1.5 gallons of sweet tea and 2 pounds of our Butcher House brine, which is a really simple brine: salt, sugar, onion, garlic, some aromatics. In with the sweet tea first, then we'll add the dry brine. Now this is gonna be enough, honestly, to do a couple of 14-pound birds, even though we're only doing one today. Especially when you spatchcock them, it makes for a lot more room in here because you can kind of maneuver them around one another. If they're whole, it's gonna be a lot more difficult to fit multiple turkeys in here. 2 pounds of Butcher House, give it a whisk. The great thing about this is you don't even have to heat it up. This stuff's just gonna dissolve right into the tea. That turkey's going in the bucket. Like it or not. We'll get it fully submerged. Then we've got our locking plate so we can keep it fully submerged. And like I said, lots more space. You could totally fit another turkey in here. Throw a lid on this, put it in the fridge overnight. I typically say 1 hour per pound, so 14-pounder, you want 14 hours. We've got a bird that's soaked overnight, coming out of the brine. You're gonna get that down on some paper towels. take off some of this excess moisture before we season it up. Now ideally you would want to throw this back in the fridge and let that skin dry out a little bit more. But worst case scenario, you're trying to get turkey dinner done in a hurry. Just patting it dry is going to be fine because we're going to be roasting it at a high temperature today. Let's go ahead and hit this with some seasoning. We've got Cattleman's Grill Ranchero. This is a rub that was specifically designed for turkeys. I mean, it's great on other poultry, it's great on vegetables as well, but the entire inception of this rub, it was designed for turkeys. So it's going to be salty mostly. It's got a little bit of sweetness to it. And you're going to catch some garlic, some onion, and some herbs in there as well. So just getting underneath that skin to start. Let's flip this. Pulled that skin back on the breast exactly for this purpose, so that we could get seasoning directly onto the meat and not just onto the skin that you may or may not eat. But of course we want to season up the skin side as well. Last little tip I'll show you here is tucking these wings back underneath. It kind of holds this wing in closer so it doesn't cook too fast. And I typically wait until after I do that to season them, otherwise that seasoning just gets wiped off. Now we've got a foil-lined sheet pan. We're going to cook our turkey in this pan to capture all those juices, and then to add to the flavors there, we've got some garlic olive oil down first. Just some large diced sweet potatoes, throw in some red onion, then some crushed cloves of garlic, and then we'll weave in some rosemary. So now you're getting all of these aromatics with the turkey, and then of course you'll have some nice tender veggies to eat along with your turkey. Now just to add a little seasoning here, we're going to use the John Henry's pecan rub. This is a sweeter rub. Got some sugar, got some salt. It's a little smoky. I think it even has like a bacon flavoring to it. And then right on top, our turkey goes. Prop it up just like that. And make sure that meat is covered with the skin, so the skin's going to be basting the meat with the fat that comes out of it as it cooks. Today we're cooking on the Yoder Smokers YS640S pellet grill at 400 degrees with hickory pellets. So this is going to go on the second shelf. Being that we're cooking at 400, we don't want too much radiant heat coming off the bottom. We are cooking indirect, but at 400 degrees, this is a sweet spot. Now while that turkey cooks, we're going to put together our glaze that we'll brush on at the end. We're doing equal parts, 1 cup each of peaches and our whiskey barrel aged maple syrup. Super simple, 2 ingredients in the food processor. Blitz it up. About 30 seconds till everything's smooth. Now our maple peach mixture is going to go into a skillet. Now that that's come up to a simmer, we're just going to turn that heat down, low, medium low, and let this reduce until it gets a little bit more syrupy. We can see how this is thickened up now after about 10 minutes. Those bubbles are getting bigger and bigger, which tells me that it's getting more syrupy. So we're going to shut off the heat, just transfer this over to a jar, and let it hang out at room temp until we glaze it. Yeah, so we lost about a half cup in total volume, and that's that thickening process. We're about 2 hours into this cook now, sitting at about 135, 140 internal temperature. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to go ahead and start glazing this thing. Obviously the color looks really pretty. It's got a nice crust on it. These veggies are getting softened up. But we just want to finish this off by letting this glaze set up. So we'll just pour this right over the top, kind of brush it onto it. If we get a little bit extra on there and it falls down into the veggies, all the better. We don't want to put this on too early. Like I said, 135, 140, because there's the risk at 400 degrees of it kind of over caramelizing. What we're really looking to do is glaze it. Just get that tacked up on the outside. Checking that finishing internal temperature now. We're in between that 155, 160 range, and that's right where we want to be for the breasts. Now the thighs are going to be quite a bit higher, the 180s, and that's better for the thighs because that dark meat turns silky the hotter it gets. Now let's start taking this thing apart. Because of all that prep work we did on the backside or the inside of this bird, this just comes off from that one little piece of skin. Move these to a tray. We're going to move all of this to a tray, and then we're going to strain off the rest of this once I get the rosemary out of here. So we can use all those juices both on the veggies and on the turkey. Try and keep as much of that juice as I can. And for now, the veggies can stay in there, and we'll just let this strain while we carve up this turkey. The legs and thighs are pretty simple. You're just gonna cut right in between the two and pop that joint and figure out where to make that final cut. Now this is all great for you to shred it up into smaller pieces if you want. You wanna serve a whole drumstick, you can put it just like that. And do the same thing on the other side. So let's say you want this shredded. Take that skin off, but keep it because it's got a lot of flavor. And then you can get right into that dark meat. Pull it apart just like this. This skin I would just slice up into little pieces so you can get little bites of it throughout those chunks of the dark meat. Sticky from that maple peach glaze. Well, let's go ahead and get that wing off of there. Again, you're just finding a joint and cutting right through it. I know that's a little bit difficult to see. And right at that crease in between the drumette and the flat, same thing. Take that wing off. You're gonna cut down toward that joint. You can kind of pop it open. See where that's at, and then find your way through the joint. Down the crease, pop it and separate. For the breast, I'm gonna find one side of that breastbone. Just gonna open this thing up, follow that rib cage down. You'll see it a little bit better from the other side, and then you can remove the whole thing. You got any stuff left on the bottom side, some of that rib? It'll either pull off or you can slice it off. So it's little snacky bits right there. Now right down the other side of that breastbone. There's that tenderloin in there. Follow it down along that rib cage. Slice right off. Now anything that's left on the bones, I usually just shred that up. Make sure we get every little bit of meat off of this thing. And for the breast, switch to the slicer. Get some thick slices out of this. But check out that doneness on the inside. Still so juicy. Now let's platter it up. Got the veggies down on the bottom. Got a couple legs and a thigh back here. Now let's not forget about all that juice. Tons of flavor in here. And you don't have to use it all on the turkey, but I would hit the white meat. And whatever else goes down into the veggies, all the better. But you've still got some left. And that can be used to make a really good gravy. It's funny that smoky hit me first, then sweet second for my peach and maple glaze. Super tender, nice and silky. Again, those darker meats getting to a higher temperature in the 180s is key. The salt really balances out the sweet. It's not overly sweet, it's not overly salty. It's a really nice balance there. It's like eating a glazed ham. You think about how salty a ham is and you put a glaze on it and they kind of work each other out. I'm really happy with this one. Hope you guys will check it out. I gotta tell you, all of the stuff that's in this video, all of those products, there are flavor kits for these on atbbq.com. You can buy your turkey kit. We'll ship everything you need to you. And that can go from just the flavors and tools. We've got everything you need, so go check it out. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to check out atbbq.com for all the products featured in today's video. If you enjoy the recipe, hit that subscribe button. And if you have any questions or comments, or there's anything you'd like to see me cook, let me know in the comment section down below, and let's be good to one another. For more recipes, tips, and techniques, head over to atbbq.com/thesauce. All things barbecue, where barbecue legends are made.